tuyambeko, tulina obuzibu wano, kampuni yaffe n'ebirala bwe bityo, naye ne zitaweebwa buyambi. So nze nasooka okubuuza bano bo be muwa obuyambi musinzidde ku ki okuwa bano abalala ne mutabawa? Ekyokubiri, baatugamba nti gavumenti yali egula migabo ku kampuni eno. Yes, kampuni erina amabanja mangi, gavumenti negamba ti kakati kampuni eno katugitaase obutagwa ebyayo, obutatwalibwa banka n'ebirala. Kakati gavumenti kegula emigabo mu kampuni eno. Naye mu kugula emigabo ne mbabuuza, kakati kampuni mwagivaluinga okutegeera nti yo yonna awamu ya ssente meka nga temunnagula migabo? How are you, sir? Yes, sir. Mr. Magola. Yes, sir. How are you doing, sir? Thank you. Hello. How are you? Hello. How are you? Hello, sir. How are you? Oh, you see this place in the pictures now.
Yes, most of these people.
This is the same way, there is nothing here.
Get rid of this. At least. Now if you are allowing Indians to
Let's have 2 people. 3.
Can you get your media?
Because these people should be able to collaborate. So.
Instead of the order that is broken,
I'm very sorry. But you also beg to
now, let's first go have the discussion. If time allows, we shall come back here. Yeah.
Okay. Since that's the request.
Doctor, where is your dustbin?
At our 6. All right. Okay. Aisha.
I hope everybody has gotten well sick. And I want to take the opportunity to welcome all of you here. My name is Dr. Patrick Wakida. I happen to be the chairperson of the board of this organization. And the leader of opposition, with your delegation, welcome to Dei BioPharma. I think as a starting point, we shall have to introduce ourselves. I know that in this country people like praying. We can as well start with prayers, but then we shall have to introduce ourselves so we know who is this house at this moment. I'll start with this side. Starting from the extreme end, you stand up, introduce yourself and tell us what you do here.
Start from product development to dispensing to dispensage. So it start from A to Z activity, which is going to developing product and then commercial and then registration also and then ends to commercialization. Thank you. Thank you.
But they can remain seated.
You can remain seated. Just introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Dr. Arthur Kayanja, and I'm the Chief Pharmacist of Dei BioPharma.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rafiduddin Wadi. I am a site project head and engineering department head also. My responsibility is design, develop new projects, existing generic area projects and everything to support project and engineering support.
I'm James Bisase Segawa. I'm the Chief Financial Officer. I'm in charge of finance and ICT.
My name is Olivia Kemilisa, head Human Capital. I oversee the staff welfare, recruitment function, and organizational development.
Good morning. My name is Kelly Kamgengi, Secretary.
Morning, members. Magora Matthews, Director.
Good morning, members. Nagari Henry, project manager in charge of ensuring projects executed in conformity with specifications and regulations.
Good morning, members. I'm Simakora Ronald Katali, the operations manager.
Good morning, members. I'm Kakumba Anton, project fund surveyor.
Good morning to all. I am Ishmael Isirika. I am a pharmacist and I supervise production activities.
Okay, I think those are the few staff we have here. I would do request that your team introduces.
And start from.
Good morning, Lord and members. I'm Paul Wakaima Msofi. I'm a member of Parliament representing this constituency. You are all welcome. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Matugga, the Member of Parliament, Kasanga District.
Good morning to you all. My name is Dorothy Namuga, the Member of Parliament from Ongora County, that is Ssenyonyi District. The former Minister for Science, Innovation and Information Technology in the Organizative Government, that is the current Deputy Chair, Parks and Energy.
Morning, colleagues. I'm Charles Dei BioPharma Ltd constituency, District.
Morning, everyone. I'm Man Alan, Member of Parliament. I represent Governor Kasika Central. In Parliament, I have some other responsibilities. I'm the Deputy Chairperson of the SASE. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is President Ronalima. The woman MP for this area. Now work is for district permanently. It represents Nancy and municipality. I'm also the shadow minister for local government in this country. Welcome to office.
East and the shadow minister for foreign affairs.
Zaki Francis is my name, representing the two of you. Thank you.
Lumira Hassan, I represent the South, the Parliament.
Yeko, Derek, Member of Parliament, Matugga East, and Shadow Minister for Defense and Foreign Affairs.
Look, maybe before you come, I also want to add on that I am the Interparliamentary Union representative.
My name is Joel Ssenyonyi. I represent the people of Nakao West in Parliament. I also lead the position in Parliament.
First of all, thank you for coming. That's why when you want to ask to come here, you told the directors, we have nothing to hide. We are not like where Honorable is going and stop that again. He said we will show them until they said we don't want to see anymore. And I think I've killed that. Because you told me, no, we shall come. It's too much to see. You are welcome to Dei BioPharma. Since you are the one who requested to come, I want to give you a little bit of the profile of this organization. Here we are going to produce human medicine. You've seen the factory, just probably you've seen 5% of what this factory is. We have the vaccines, which we are now assembling the machines. We have the generic medicine, which is ready to switch on anytime today, tomorrow. We can start producing that one. The facility is ready. We have the cancer, which you see the other side is being settled. And then we have other things that we use, eye drops, the nose drops, all that medicine that will be imported. So we have over 3,000 formulations that we are going to develop into medicine for Ugandans. And this factory, as I think, in my view, is the biggest in the continent, is the biggest in Uganda, and you are going to feel it when you come here to walk around. Seated on over 150 acres of land. Planned to employ 40,000 people. Current evaluation gave us close to 2.2 billion US dollars. Valuation by government. Our valuation gave us more. We currently have close to 300 employees who are already here. And as we develop different sectors, we employ people. So this is the way you see it. Matugga is a known person, you've known him before. And he's a scientist. He's a scientist. Scientists don't talk a lot. They're not like the politicians I'm looking at. So I will ask him to say a few words before I invite him to say something.
Most welcome. We are honored to host him. Because when we received the letter, I was supposed to talk. When you see this morning, when the chair says it's the largest in Africa, it's not even by us. I don't know if we visited here years ago. And we were not similar. So he's told here about some of the things we do. Some of these drugs don't even come to Africa because they are very expensive. Those drugs, they are the latest cancer drugs. That our people, almost 80% come from. We are going to manufacture them right here. You've seen the team is here, in US, in India, in China. It's a global facility that is going to help our country to be a net exporter of drugs, not a net importer. Because you know that government imports 85% of all the medicines, and they spend close to 200 million. We want that to remain here. And this has been built to exactly do that. We are not only going to do human medicine, but also animal medicine, veterinary medicines. We have that section also. We are going to total project value is going to be, we are going to invest more than 1.1 billion. We raised more than half of that money. And we thank you for the support that has really great way of doing it. So, I don't have much to say. And you see for yourselves. I see that there is one value for money.
Be here. I didn't know you are chairman here. When I saw your call this morning, I thought you asked me about political things. You know, you said politicians talk too much and you pointed at this team. I thought you would point at yourself too. But we are glad to be here. This is mainly the shadow cabinet, really, except for the post MD, to come and establish what's going on here. The first feedback I got, I don't know who replied. Somebody replied saying, see, we are busy having some installation and so on. We said we can only come after October 18th, I remember. I said, no. If there is installations happening and so on, that's okay. We don't have to go where there is, I don't know, falling debris and so on. We still want to come and have an interface with the top management. And I said we can have follow-up engagements, you know, after you install whatever you're installing, come and see what's going on. But I thought we should firstly come. My major interest in coming together with my colleagues, my duty, our duty, is to keep the government in check. We follow the money, follow the taxpayers' money. That's why we are here. On 17th April this year, the Minister of Finance tabled before us in Parliament a supplementary request. 578 billion shillings of that was for Dei BioPharma. The allocation of that money to Dei BioPharma. Because I had questions. Which questions? The Minister of Finance, Minister of Health, Minister of Science and Technology had no answers to. So because they could not answer those our questions, we said we are opposed to this allocation. We knew we were going to lose on the numbers, but I said I wanted to be on record having said no to this allocation because I had questions that needed to be answered. And since the ministers could not provide those answers, I said, let me come. Hopefully I can get some of those questions answered, if not all of them. And so that's why we are here. To get some answers, to have a fair understanding. Because as we speak today, a total of 723 billion has been allocated to Dei BioPharma. The first amount was in 2023, government gave 75 billion shillings. In 2024, last year, there was a supplementary of 70 billion shillings. And then this year, 578 billion. When you do the math, that's about 723.4 billion. That's a lot of money. So our duty is to follow taxpayers' money to establish what exactly is the money doing. Is there value for money? How does the taxpayer get a return on their investment? Because it's taxpayers' money. Anyway, I want to firstly appreciate you for opening your doors for us to come. There are some places we go to play our oversight role, and they keep the gate closed. I told my colleagues that if Dei BioPharma says we cannot access, we're still going to come, just so you know. We're going to come, and you are going to bounce us from the gate, but we were going to come. That's how seriously we take our job of keeping the government in check. So I'm glad for your own good you let us in. Because you know, when you close your doors, it shows there's something you're hiding. We have been having, and this is not any of your business, but since the media is here, we have been following up on Lubowa Hospital, and we are still following up. We're not going to stop. Each time we go there, they don't allow us to access. And yet the taxpayer has injected over 600 billion shillings. So my narrative is, when you close your doors to us who are meant to check and follow the taxpayer's money, it means you're hiding something. It means this money has not been put to any use. So maybe somebody advised you that don't lock those guys out. It will be for your good. Because the news would be, Dei BioPharma has blocked members of parliament from accessing to do their job. So for me, you have ticked box number 1. But there are many other boxes you have got to tick. And it's important that those boxes get to be ticked. I do have a few questions. I'm sure my colleagues do, as time will allow. So we get some answers to questions. Again, some of the questions will be fairly hard questions. Don't take it personal. Even if you do, we are not bothered that much. And this is Joel Ssenyonyi being honest here. Because of the questions we do ask, sometimes people get angry with us, and that's okay. You will still go home and sleep soundly. Not bothered so much that a government official or somebody with taxpayers' money is annoyed with me. That's okay. Part of my job. Yeah. So don't worry that you'll get annoyed with the questions we'll ask. Just so you know, it's okay. But we still have to do our job. But again, we are not here to fight or whatever. We just want to know what's going on, how is taxpayers' money being utilized. Dei BioPharma first got to be known publicly during COVID. COVID was such a precarious situation for our country and the world at large. People died in droves. Many Ugandans died as well. Around that time, we did hear of a Dr. Magola who had a remedy. And we were all very excited to say, finally, there seems to be a remedy. And you did promise a COVID vaccine. We waited and waited. It did not come. It would just be good to have an update what happened to that vaccine. Because part of the reason why I personally opposed the idea of giving you more money, I'm saying, but wait, these people previously promised a vaccine. It did not come. Now, you want us to give them more money. Based on what? Because there's a promise that wasn't fulfilled. So it's important we get to know what happened. It helps also in building credibility, because in opposing allocating more money to you as Dei BioPharma, one, I had not been here, had not met, I only saw you on TV. I didn't even know this man was part of your team. So there was nothing personal, it's just principles of, but wait, all of this money, what exactly is it going to do? There had been a promise of a COVID vaccine. It did not happen. You just update us. 2, you mentioned that government valued this company because in Parliament we did ask the ministers for a valuation report. They did not have it. And they were honest with us and they said valuation has not been done yet. So I said, why then are you asking us to give money for government to buy a stake in a company whose value you do not know? Common sense says no. So I said, how do you want us to inject these billions of shillings as a way of buying a stake, government buying a stake into a company whose value you do not know? So what stake are you acquiring, I asked. And the ministers did not have answers, yeah? Now you're saying valuation was done. It would be good for us to look at that valuation report by the chief government valuer so that we know what's the worth of the company. In fact, one of the examples I gave in Parliament was, okay, so now that you say you will eventually do the valuation, what if you value the company and eventually discover it's about worth 100 billion Uganda shillings, but you have put 723 billion shillings? So I had a problem with that. So it would be good to see a valuation report too, have with government. Because government said this company is struggling with a loan. Maybe you talk to us about that loan portfolio. And so this was a bailout. And resultantly, it would give government stake as a way of saving this company from, losing its property and so on. Said, okay, let's save the company, give them money to pay their debt as we buy stake. Is there some kind of agreement with government and so on? Because when we did ask ministers in Parliament, they didn't have any. And they told us there was none yet. Again, I told them, common sense dictates you can't do that. That might not be your fault, as putting the blame on government to say, but so how are you extending money and saying you're buying a stake and there is no basis, agreement, and so on and so forth? It's important that that becomes clear. It will also be good to get an update on the debts, because the request for this money, government was saying we need to salvage the company, help it clear its debts. What's happening around that? The other is, I'm sure you had a lot of talk of, but who exactly is the owner of this company? You all have been hearing those questions out there in the public domain. Who owns this company? Those people are saying, but wait, this company here wanted, company X wanted a government bailout, government said no. Company Y wanted a bailout, government said no. Dei BioPharma wants a bailout, they are given money. And so people keep coming up with ideas of maybe this one is owned by this person in government or the other and so on. It's important that that is cleared also for the public to know who exactly owns this company. Maybe finally for now, you talk to us about getting set to begin producing vaccines, medicine, and so on. When is that going to happen? What's the plan around that? Because many times promises are made. Like I was asking about the COVID vaccine, there was a promise, nothing did come through. When do you hope to begin producing medicines, vaccines, and an idea about the return on investment for the taxpayer for the 723 billion shillings so far. And maybe tie this in, I know I'd say it finally, in asking for the kind of arrangement and so on, yeah, whether there was a signed agreement, whether there was a board resolution. You chair the board, sir. Was there a board resolution? Because you see, government also can't buy a stake by force. There would have to be a board resolution to say there is entity X which wants to acquire a stake in our company, so the board passes the resolution which has got to be filed. I don't know if that happened today. Okay, let me stop there for now. Maybe first answer these questions, then the colleagues are going to ask.
Thank you. I joined this company about 2 years ago. And the intention was to provide governance and leadership to ensure anybody who has been in the scientific world knows that science takes time. And I want to give you confidence that one of the areas I wanted you to visit today is the mRNA installation, where we are processing to produce all the vaccines, including the one you used during COVID. The installation is ongoing, the machines are on ground, the technicians are already here. So that one was a miscommunication. When the man said, in this place we are going to produce a vaccine, he actually meant it. The first time I drove here, it's the first question I asked, and he said, come and I take you in the facility. The reason why we came to government to ask for money is, again, based on the fact that that was in the process. The company had reached a point where there was no money to continue the installation. So that one was not a lie. Now, the second thing, which he says, government valued. To be honest, by that time there was no value. What we had was our own value, and we knew it, but government value needed to come at value. And the valuation was done. There is a government valuation report, which you should be demanding from government valuer, the Attorney General, the Minister of Finance, to give you. But for convenience, we are going to show you a copy, which is here. When that value was done, this company was valued at $2.1 billion by government valuer. Our valuer had given us slightly higher value, but we said we'll take what government has valued, computed it against the government's contribution. The total value for government investment in the factory is 9.4% of the total value. And I want to remind you, and to remind everybody, that the value of this installation is not in the infrastructure, it's in the intellectual property. And I am happy that the government valuer was able to value the difference between what we thought was in our valuation report and what the government gave us is actually in a margin of about 10%. So we said we'll go by that 9%. So that one, you'll have it. Arrangement with government. By the time we were in Parliament asking for government contribution, I also want to tell you that actually there was no arrangement. It was a goodwill of government. But eventually it was done. Agreement between government of Uganda, on behalf of the people of Uganda, and Dei BioPharma, the contract was signed, the agreement. The entity of government is the Minister of Finance and Minister of Science and Technology on this body. So I thought I would bring that to you so that it's no longer a question, it's not a private thing, because I remember myself, the director signing, the Attorney General signing, and the Minister signing, and the Minister of Finance. So that was sorted. We should be asking the Attorney General to give you a copy. We had several dates, some of them dating back as far as 2015. We have been managing them. Technically, there were hefty debts. Others, suppliers, others through banks. And I want to tell you that we've been managing debts through reconciliation, because the biggest challenge in this country is people do not pay attention to what they pay. And when I came here, I demanded that first we audit the loans before we can pay anybody. Unfortunately, there are loans that we are still reconciling. We are asking for document A, they give you B, they called on another. And we are saying, we want all the document. We reconcile and we pay you. And we've written to them. We've written to them that we want these documents. They say, give us the money, and we say, first give us the document, we reconcile the loan. There is something I want you people to know about banks, because I am a banker. They will give you an interest of 17%. They will collect money worth the 23% interest per month. And when we discovered that by, we call it a dipstick analysis, we demanded that all loans must be subjected to a reconciliation. And I am happy it's going on. And once we've done, whoever we owe the money, we shall pay. But we are not going to get public fund, give to an entity simply because they have given us a claim. So we've been very careful with that one. Many of you have dealt with me know I am very detailed. And I've told Magola, we have to be able to protect this money. It's not forgiving. So there is that. Now, who is the owner of this factory? I saw Honorable Zake when he came here, he said, Matugga, you're also here. I don't own. I was brought in here to manage the board. And I'm happy with the vehicle. In the articles that I have no doubt that I know the owner of this factory, Dr. Magola and Caleb. They are the owners of this factory. For the 2 years I've been here, I have not seen any other person. So there are two people, and they are seated in front of you here. You asked another question, getting to when do we start? I want to report to you that in our work plan, we are first going to have the first medicine this October. The generic sector, which we're moving, is ready for production. We've been cleared by National Drug Authority, we've been cleared by FDA, we've been cleared by EMA, the European Medical Association, to start production. So that medicine is going to come. But I want you to bear in mind, if you're scientists and seated here, medicine is not like a production of wheat. It goes through batches. You produce batch by batch. And my scientists will tell you, no reason not to start. National Drug Authority has given, who has the certificate state? They have given us suitability of facility, they have given us a clearance ready for production. This, it's something that you need to start to produce medicine here. So this
Which
one
medicine do you begin producing next month? Doctor, speak English. What are you saying? Non-beta what?
Non-beta lactams. A type of antibiotic.
Yes.
So please,
It's all general category molecules we got.
Honorable Zaki, have you understood what you said? Okay, maybe we can take some questions from colleagues. Ways to look at that if the main value report. It's one of
knowing the equity of government and the value of shares. The other issue is that we have known the partners in this marriage, the lady and the gentleman in front of us. We are coming, government is coming into this marriage as a poor person, marrying or getting married to very rich people. My interest is in knowing the background of our rich partners. What are their previous business background? Where have they accumulated money to the extent of having more money than government? And then the other one is a local one. Of course, I'm a neighbor here from Luwero. Though there is a lot of production, mass production is going to take place. Human medicine and animal medicine. I'm more interested in knowing the raw materials going to be used in the production process. The reason is, if materials are going to be imported from other parts of produce those raw materials and they supply the factor in terms of supporting the immediate neighbors. Then lastly, the corporate social responsibilities. I want to know the engagement of this project in the nearby community. What kind of involvement have we done for the neighbors or the people living in this particular community? Thank you.
I prefer answering the first question before I get mixed up. And I'll start with the last question.
Maybe take three?
Yeah, these are already
many. Okay, Honorable Nyeko here, then
yes. Yes, thank you, Lo, and the directors. Well, mine is government has come out to aid so many factories that are operating within. But the cost at the end of the day for the final product is actually higher for the local person than the imported products. Like doctor said, 80% of our people cannot afford these medicines. How are you going to make it cheaper? The fact that it's produced here for the local people to benefit. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. First and foremost, Doctor, as we are seeking government to bail you out, bail this project out, the query was about the audit queries, whereby they could not know the reason as to why you reached at a stage and things were bad for you. And what we are wondering about and what the public is concerned about, and you're gonna reach a stage like, for example, we've heard about the local, whenever it's bailed out, it comes back again, it needs bailout, and you're gonna come back again to be bailed out. How are you handling the auditing process and how is it done? I'm happy that there is a finance manager here to tell us how are you audited, so that there is value for money. I thank you.
Okay, can I come to government, by the time they are asking for money in Parliament, we didn't know the value of the project. Government valued the project, gave it a price, subjected it to the amount of investment government has put in. And I can tell you, government value in this project, as of now, is 9.4%. 9.4. The total value that government value gave to this project was $2.1 billion US dollars. Subject that to that, the 72.73, 723. You'll be able to get the price. Remember, we are talking about dollar against the shilling. So if you subject that to a mathematical equation, you come. It's straightforward. We did not determine that. Ours had actually given about 7.9, our valuer, but we agreed with government valuer. Said in research, in statistics, we have the variance, the margin of error in calculation. So the contract, the agreement exists. Honorable members, the relationship between government and Dei BioPharma was sealed in writing. I would encourage you to demand for that contract from the Attorney General, because it's a public document. That's number one. Number two, sources of funding. If you're an investment expert, there are various sources of funding. One of them could be, I have a friend of mine and he gives me money. and I will invest that money, create value out of it. The other one could be that I've been a business person. And many of you who are asking this question, I would interest you to know, what was Mabola doing? First ask yourself, why would a bank give an individual $1 million in loan if you are not creditworthy? 200 billion shillings, why? So I am bringing to this to see the value of a person that existed before government came in. That there was already a valued person who was valued by equity, and they got a value of that person. So that one is, again, a question of you understanding what kind of person he was. He is a business person. He was involved in various businesses. I'm not even going to describe that. But many of you who know, he was an exporter of wheat until COVID struck. Again, this feeds into the question you asked, what happened? Many of us know that when COVID struck, business went to sleep. And when they slept, the profit
Can I
failed.
interject?
Yes.
Chair, I want
Maybe,
to thank you.
could he,
Let
let me
me
finish.
something little I want to put in. I'm sorry, because the one who asked the question was saying that we have directors, of which directors can explain themselves who they are, not the chairman.
I would encourage that you do that. Allow me to answer these questions, and if you have a direct question to him, I'll be happy for you to ask him. Now, where are the materials coming from? Somebody asked here, I think, Honorable. In our description, cassava is going to be produced locally. And if you have where you can produce, I would encourage you to get in touch with the scientist here. They will give you a specification of what kind of cassava, what kind of maize you are going to have to produce. We are encouraging people to produce because it's going to be needed. In fact, I saw Minister of Science and Technology setting up a farm somewhere to start production of cassava, maize, pharmaceutical feeding into this. So, you call wherever you have good cassava. CSR, and I'm going to describe this from an academic point of view. And I'm going to distinguish between CSR and shared value. CSR only comes when the business has started, isn't it? That you have made profit. What's the benefit to the people around? I am surprised somebody is asking a cow which has not even started delivering, where is the milk? In our business program, which we can share with you, the CSR will be there. And we're emphasizing shared value. That he makes money, the community makes money, and it benefits. It's called shared value in a business context. And that one is going to be followed the door. That's why when we went to look for this, the CFO, we looked for the best you can have in this country. That man, James, the best you can have. He has run Murwana, he has run this Mobit, multi-billion companies, and we went and we said, we want you here, and we took the best. So that one, CSR, shared value concepts, we are going to follow it to the road. And the people around here will benefit, they're already benefiting, by the way. I can tell you the number of women who enter that gate every morning to come and clean, to come and plant grass. They are making already a living even before Magola makes. And for me, that is the beauty of having a factory located in a community. The other one is, I have told you, we are planning to have 40,000 employees. 40,000. When I look at the employment portfolios, 40,000. Assuming those are Ugandans, which other factory in this country employs more than that? None. Many of these which closes the doors when you go there would employ few nurses, few doctors. But this is a manufacturing facility. So that one, I promise you, we are paying attention. And there is a commitment to that. Thank you.
Okay, maybe just before, I wanted to, as a follow-up, somebody, I don't know who was asking about the history. It's actually not prying so much into the life of Dr. Magola. It helps you, for people out there, to know that this person didn't arrive from nowhere. It helps to also answer the question of, but where did this man come from? How all of a sudden, yeah? So it's a good question for you to answer. I'm only encouraging you to answer it, because it responds to so much out there that is not understandable. How all of a sudden did this man come to be what this state that government, banks can lend him so much money, government can partner with him. I saw there was some kind of presentation there. I don't know if that's part of it. So that question should be answered. But also, if government has acquired a stake of 9.4%, would that mean that 91.6%? 90.6 actually. 90.6 is shared between you and Madame Kelly. Sorry, I didn't get the second name. Huh? Kellen Kamrundi. Yeah, would that mean that the 90.6 is shared between the two of you? Yeah, maybe let him respond to that. I don't know how long your presentation is, huh? Then we'll pick other questions.
So I did not get my response because we have companies like Iraq.
Yes.
But the final product is actually more expensive
Very
than.
good. I am very sorry I missed that one. One of the objective of this company was to reduce the prices of commodities. Let me tell you what constitutes a price. What constitutes a price is flight. That's number one. Taxes, foreign taxes. So you are coming through the border. You have to ship product in here. The product here, and he will explain to you, which he was saying the cancer medicine is very expensive. You can't buy it outside there. Here you'll be able to buy it because it's not going to be priced at an international price. The prices are such that they take consideration of all the costs, what constitutes a price. In fact, for us in economics, we call the resting place of the tax, that one, which goes to the consumers. Now, once you take away all those elements, the price automatically of the product comes down. Now, there are companies that import things here. They bring things here and pack. We are not doing that. We are producing. The difference between somebody who has brought something and then he just puts it here and packages it, he will sell you that price. Now, here, unfortunately, you didn't go to the laboratory. I wish you went there, you would have seen. Everything is going to be processed here, produced here. What is the justification for you to charge a tax on that product? Because what constitutes that high eliminated, the price cannot be as high as you can see. So that one I guarantee. We've already done the pricing values, and we'll have all of those people. Because the objective of this factory is to eliminate imports. Eliminate imports. So we want to set up an import substitution factory. So you have no reason to bring a product whose prices will be high and people not have. So they will run here. So anybody who wants to sell a product will have to go down to our price. That's the whole logic.
Okay, let's allow Dr. Magola to make this quick presentation. Maybe it will have response to some of the questions we have, yeah? In fact, we should have begun with that. I don't know why we were not told that there was...
This comes a new malaria drug. Magola and 5 departments in the US lead a team of fellow scientists FDA, US FDA, for a new product for treatment of cancer. And the FDA has given a response to that. Matugga has contributed more than 75%, 75 patents that have been filed in the US, including treatment of cancer, treatment of so many other diseases. You don't just write, it's reviewed by so many other science around the world. So I've authored many of those, and if you can go to our website, you'll be able to see some of those. Matugga is not just an ordinary science, but it's deep into the violence. And that's what brings the value. Before government came in, Matugga and his team, we had mobilized more than 2 trillion before government came in, including 500 billion from banks, local banks, and our other partners. Matugga had 5 factories in this country. Rosetta, Toronto. We came in, we saw factories across the other side. Those are part of our factories. But when COVID came, all that came to stand. But we had to dispose it. Matugga was moving well. Matugga team was moving well until COVID came. But also, some saboteurs who failed at this project are not here. I want to assure you that this is a game changer for this country. It's followed the time you see. What we are doing here, no other person is doing here. So, why would then President himself and his campaign in Parliament agree to give what you're calling a lot of money? In the farmer, that's not a lot of money. Because when we employ about 40,000 people, these are high paying people. That's the money we'll be able to get from pay as you earn. From us. Our revenue is projected to be $10 billion higher. That's higher than oil and gas. Your oil and gas, everybody's talking about oil and gas. But our revenue by the 10th year will exceed $10 billion higher. So just imagine that value the GDP of the country. It's massive. So what are we doing? And again, you can find some of my books that we've been able to publish, talks about what we are doing here and what is wrong. So why is this project so special? Why is it so special? It's because our president has been talking about GDP of 500 billion for the country from 65 years. We've already started. Our company has been valued at 2.1 billion as the chairman has stated. We shall show you the evaluation. And we don't agree with that value. It's not that we agree with it. Because our values that was done by the US team is much higher than what they have shown here. So, why are we so special? It's because what we are doing for this country, nobody has ever done. And the way we take care of it. The technology, I don't know about the technology. It's unfortunate that I didn't have time to go to the mRNA vaccines, the first biotech company facility in Africa. We are going to make mRNA vaccines, peptides, in that facility. You didn't find time to go there. You go there and see what we are doing. The facility was done in the US, qualified. They disabled it, packed it, and brought it in the country. So they are assembling it to start manufacturing the vaccine. But because our facility is not ready, and we have our, you asked me about the COVID-19 vaccine. We have it. We have it. It's already banked in the US, in the cell bank. Once this facility is ready, we just transfer the technology, start manufacturing the product. But once we are not ready, we license for other people to manufacture the same facility. We are doing that in many countries, including the UK. Their products we have already licensed. So what they will transfer all that, they cannot do. And first all the jobs here in Uganda, because we know that Ugandans need these jobs. Now, we talked about, you asked about the raw material. After 10 years from now, we are going to need 500 tons of cassava every day. I don't think even the Teso region can supply that. So we are combining the region of Soga, Teso, and Paris, okay, to grow maize, to grow cassava and maize to supply the farm. So this is a game changer for you, for the country. We cannot be a country generating about $6 billion in revenue. We want to be able to change that country, change the farmers, put money in their pockets. That's our idea. That factory that is going to make active experience that are making 10 years old. If we manufacture starch, pharmaceutical starch, and advanced starch, glucose. We are putting all the glucose in this country. We are going to produce maltose. We are going to produce fructose. That is needed in this market. I hope that answers a few questions. So you can see some of the publications that we've done. Can you zoom in? These are peer developed. They are not to guarantee you that to be comfortable. The 700 billion talking about, that's very little money compared to what we are doing. Before government came in, we had raised more than 2 trillion. Government came in and we thank you. And we continue to pump money. Cause a change for this country. And you like what you see. This is too big, too big. So some people feel like let's sabotage this project. And they stop funding from our partner. Give money to this project. That's what they do. But we can assure you that now government is back in the project. Our partners also back. We don't need any more funding from government. We're okay. And actually for us, we are looking at this money should be given back to government. So that we probably government can give it to other people who want it. It's a joke.
Okay, just some order. Just hold on here. Just hold on. The mic is coming, yeah? Maybe what's rattling people. Dr. Matthias Magola. First of all, just a second. Just hold on. Don't worry, Chair. Don't worry. Coming back to you, sir. Just to clarify a bit, yeah? So, the 723 billion, which maybe to you it is little money. To us as a country, we are a poor country. 723 billion is a lot of money, yeah? I pray to God that we don't remain a poor country forever. But for now, 723 billion to a country like Uganda is a lot of money. That's why you see this whole serious team is coming. I'm sure you're thinking, but how can all these people come here for just 723 billion? It's because from where we sit, it's a lot of money. And it must be accounted for. It's taxpayers' money, yeah? 2, you have said something interesting that, in fact, you want to give it back to government so that other people can use it. So it begs the question, why the bailout if maybe there was no real need? But 2, if you're saying, okay, you were sabotaged, then government came in, and so you're saying, yeah.
When he says, the man has told he had gotten the right money to trade. And there was sabotage. He has also explained that this facility will be buying to take money from the system. We have a shareholding agreement with an exit clause. Should we make enough money to the point of funding government, government will walk away. They are not going to be a permanent partner once they have been given the money. Because government is not in the business of doing business. Government all over the world bails out companies, get their returns back, and walk away. That's how government operates. A government has got no credibility, has got no ability to do business. And that's not their business is what my brother here, Joel, is doing, politics. So when he says that, that's what he means. He does not say that, oh, we did not need the money. But he says, we actually did not need the money until that sabotage came.
What was the sabotage?
We can't disclose that. But one of the sabotage was actually the natural disaster of COVID. If you cannot export what you've been exporting, it's already sabotage. But there were other high-level sabotage that happened. And me, one day when we a lot of explanation. You understand? So, media, you are very good at
becoming one.
Because you see,
the one thing the media captures it as is. I want to proceed. Honorable you look like you.
And as a lawyer, I was cautious when Dr. Wakida hinted on how the factory was valued.
Yes.
Government has a contribution.
Yes.
And you claim that also the company has a contribution.
Yes.
Putting the shareholding at 9.4 for government and 90.6 for these directors. You were also quick to add that the bulky part of the value of this factory is in intellectual property. Now this brings my question, and this is what my area of concern. Basically, intellectual property, I believe you are looking at largely patent and possible trademark. I beg to be corrected. And basically, its valuation is based on the market, cost, and I think some three-phase mechanism of valuing it. There's a possibility that this valuation is fictitious, it's unknown. We want to understand the background of these patents and possible trademarks. We want that background because what is the origin of these patents and not trademarks? The origin, how was the valuation handled? To leave you with that bigger margin, to a level retaining 90% after a very huge government investment. And that's critical. Would you avail us some documentation? Because it was your submission that largely it is in intellectual property. This is a very serious revelation. And second, the last one, Chair, I heard in the news last month that the company is still indebted with a lot of court cases. I don't know whether they are triggered by the company itself or they are real with the Equity Bank.
Yes.
Is the government money safe? Was it taken by you, by the bank? What happened along the way? And then lastly, law. When directors claim that they are the owners, we need to look at the company documentation, at least in their possession.
Okay, Honorable Bill.
With my background of architecture engineering, when you quickly assess what's happening here, you are seeing a certain good percentage of what the infrastructure is supposed to be is still ongoing. And our touring, the little we did, by the way, for us, we're going to come back. I'm with the constituency MP, and that's why we have the mayor and some good teams. So for us, around December or November, since you've told us you are here to commence in October, so we've given ourselves some good days when you are done with the commencement, and then we should come back. So with my architecture background, I'm seeing that what you are showing so far on market and the progress of the works that have commenced, that little, which is expected in 2 weeks to be done somewhere, making a small assessment of what is expected in each of these spaces, you realize that something is still small. So my question is, as you get yourselves
what percentage of the infrastructure have you came installed? And as far as the spaces are concerned, much as you are referring to us the lab which we haven't seen, and for us we shall come back and also gauge it, how far are you? That little 723 is billion.
My question goes to Mr. Mabona. Remember, what's your actual data burden of this facility? The actual amount of the data. It seems here the swamp area. Do you have environmental impact assessment report from NEMA? Because we see a lot of factories they are in swamp. They are reclaimed swamp area. And we need that report, the assessment report from NEMA or the certificate, so that you can be sure that you got a license or you are given a leeway to use this facility. And thirdly, about the ownership of this land for almost 150 acres. Is it in the names of Makola, the names of the company? So we need to know the actual owner of the land of this facility. Thank you.
Can we answer this?
When you hear about it, it's like, yeah, our country is now saved. But now, we have a challenge of these imported products. Yesterday, we had a factory that is owned by the government. And they were crying that one of the reasons why they are not doing well is because of the imported products that are cheap and they affect them. Now, my question is, after everything, how are you going to
those that have helped the issue of employment in this country? And I do appreciate the 40,000 that you are yet to employ when you start business. I want to know from among the 40,000 that you are yet to employ, who of those in the technical line will be from Uganda, from those from other countries? Because we normally face challenges where ours stand to be sweepers, they do the casual jobs.
Yeah,
and yes, many, you have many, but those that do gainfully earn out of the business are normally, I mean, they are from abroad, so you find yourself expatriating most of the money than would have benefited from the company. Then too, we do observe that government gave you money. Yes, it might be little to Mr. Magola, but we also know you were affected by COVID. But this money is much to government the way we've explained. I want to know, with this all done, are we set to move on with business? Or much as you said, you don't anticipate to get any money from government. But should we say that if all this is done, you are set off to do business? And when you told us about those that interrupted business, for me in ports, I know the interrupters can still come in at any other level. So you don't get afraid of disclosing some of that to the saboteurs to the law. Because I'm telling you, you will get to a level where you think you're going to start operating business and they will come. We know the level is political. It is political much as you've not disclosed. Then lastly, I came here under the Committee of Budget and to some extent it was science and technology. I want to know, did you ever get money through science and technology, through the innovation fund? Have you
appreciate the team from the Dei Pharmacy Group for the work well done. And we appreciate the fact that you came up with this innovation in our country. We appreciate that, but we cannot underlook it. So my key question, the key concern I have is where of that board. Are we able to gain those documents so that we can have a look at them to confirm what you tell us? Also, I'm looking at the staff, gender composition, and the overall composition. I would also like to have a profile of the director, Helen, because we have had a good profile of Dr. Magola. It would also be interesting or good to see what the partner, the director, Helen, also has to offer. And then the welfare of the people I see around that are working, besides the staff that are seated with us here, some of the staff here. when it comes to operational hazards, in case they are out there working, what do you do for them? How do you support them as a company? But also, do you have a plan somewhere or a policy within your documents, your many documents, that will cater to their needs in case they fall sick? We have that space in there. And I am also interested in knowing what are some of the key milestones you set out yourselves to. What are we going to also pin on to the government, besides, so that you can be able to check on that properly. And then I would want to know, Doctor, you mentioned that you have the COVID that you gave out to other countries that were able to produce it at the time. I'm wondering, is this drug also on our market here? Did you give us some as Ugandans, or it's just out there for other people to use, and for us we are still left out to hang dry and low, as you can see? And I think finally, it's the question on, I think Honorable Namuga also hinted on it, the wages when you start paying it, vis-a-vis the operational costs. Are we going to see the same case of staff, the same case of
the product moves and pours water? Now, there are other things that you have raised, which for me, employment experts. If we can't get Ugandans to be employed here, we cannot squeeze a stone to produce water. Our expectation is that we are going to have as many Ugandans applying for jobs here as they can. But where we can't, we'll definitely seek an expert to make the business move. All I want to say is that we have benefited from a technology. If you move in the laboratory, the first laboratory Makerere University can use, and all of those science schools, we have the biggest laboratory ready, 100% ready, for children to come and learn, for children to come and participate. It's here in the drug discovery. So the benefit is there. But if you want me to get Mr. Mayor to pick your person from a petrol station to come and work in the laboratory, you're asking for too much. Too much. What we are saying, if Ugandans apply for jobs, the jobs are going to be here in phases. Somebody asked.
We don't want to appear as if we are from heaven.
Yes.
We are Ugandans and I know what is happening. Before I joined politics, I was working under one of the production managers. And they take you to be production manager.
We've already started recruiting, and it was in the newspaper. Those who came, when I was recruiting students, I knew none of them. They came, they presented themselves, remember 4 times, and we picked the scientist. He used to work with another pharmaceutical company. He came. All I want to say is encourage your people to apply. The jobs are here for everyone. And please don't go behind and say, can you help? No. Let competencies determine your presence here. I know the mayor, there are politicians who say, fine, you come and get your job. We will bounce you. That one, be sure about that.
Maybe on the jobs as well, you said your projection is to employ 40,000 people.
Yes.
When?
Within
the next year. How many do you have employed?
We have close to 150. 150, yes. Casual plus technical. The casuals are saying. So those ones are already here. Now somebody is.
You need to go to the campus. You need to go to the campus and see.
This one is the one in charge of hiring.
No, those are independent contractors.
Okay. Ownership of land, he will explain. Do we expect to borrow again? I don't want to say Let me tell you, I lived in Europe for years. Companies that survive all. The question is, do you have the ability to pay? That's the most important thing. Two, government has got a responsibility to safeguard an organization if it is of national importance. Is this organization of national importance? Those are questions. Now, if you come here and you want to say, will you again come back? Of course, those are not right questions. You are preempting what, because we didn't know, he didn't know he would come on board. Unfortunately, there were circumstances, and he came to ask the government. Now, you are saying that everything is okay, so you will not come. What we are saying is that we are on course to independence, and once we reach that independence, you don't need to come back to it. But as government, people who are here, I want to emphasize this. Support the organization. That's what a nationalist does. Shelve yourself out of politics and look at an organization where my son, where mother's son, goes no other, will have children. This country, the employment level is deplorable. So ours should be, how do we get this work? And that's why for me, I came here. And I spend almost all my time here to make sure it does work. And I want to request Zake, let's make this work. You are free to come even at midnight, because sometimes we are here. You come and check on us. We are not like the other guys who walk out. We are open, because we have something to show. Now, thank you very much.
No, here's a chance as a matter of the local government, where the plans are approaching.
I want to tell you, this is what I say. You cannot start to invest this amount of money without having an approved plan. This is not a smaller house along the road. By the time you go to NDA, the first question they will ask you, we need these certifications. You understand? By the time you go to government, NEMA will want to see the plan. Now, the question you're asking me about the plans, do you want to see that? Please find time, come and see. I will come to that. But I want you to know how government processes work. That you cannot start production, building this kind of structure without an infrastructure.
No, for information, and especially in Wakiso,
yes,
for us to move to sites in such spaces, in wetlands, it will comfortably show you an NDA report, but when you get nothing that is supposed to be supported, that is just for his information.
Maybe we'll do digging up on our own.
We'll give you the plan as and when you want it. We'll give you the NEMA clearance as and when you want. And please don't hesitate to ask. Had you asked before you came that this is what I want to look at it, we will be tabling. Unfortunately, you say we want to start in a boardroom, and we are here. Now you are saying go into your stores and bring ABC. I think you are being very unfair to us.
To get the certificates was supposed to be 2 hours of your store. Anyway, okay.
But in the employment sector, which you were asking, how many are female and how many not? The lead employer is a female. She's ready. To start from that point of view, our HR is not a man, is a lady. And I can tell you, the majority of staff are women here. And I would encourage you to come back. Come back and interact with them and have free time with them.
Doctor, you chair the board. Who are the representatives of government? Deputy to the minister
is in the right state. He's a doctor, he's a medical.
I'm suggesting that before we leave this place, provide us with all the names and details of that particular person.
The particular persons of
the one that you are.
The board
members.
I want to request you, when does one become a board member? This is a relationship that has been created before somebody becomes authentic. Authentic, yes, Cosmas, so Cosmas Mwikirize is a PhD holder, scientist. Now, before the board is ratified, it has to be registered. You understand? There is no way I'm going to introduce to you somebody who has not been registered. The reason is this process, the relationship between government and Dei, has just been completed. You know? So if we want that, next time we come either to Parliament, we can avail you with that one. Right now, it's a process of registering the board. Even we are interim board. We came in to get the organization started. We were invited by the shareholders to come and make sure we help them. That's what we do. Now,
I think it's... So then the other thing of, yes, of course, the company is under names of Dei BioPharma. Names of Dei BioPharma. And then how do you get money from the bank when you don't have the names of the company? We do have the company.
Then benefiting from the innovation fund?
Innovation fund, not yet. But of course, this vote was created through SDI, but innovation fund, not yet.
I wanted us to hear briefly from the executive director. You're protected from this matter. Hello, Mwada, please, let's listen to the email.
Yeah, because as I said, Dr. Wakida, the person you have appointed with all that information there was really it's clear. If he was appointed, it's the maybe he was appointed. As we had said, if we knew exactly what you wanted to come and see all the documentation is created anyway. So, yeah, my name is Helen. I've been with Dei Group. I can't say Dei BioPharma because now we are Dei BioPharma. But we started Dei Group way back 2014. We've been in food processing, done wheat, done maize. We've been in mining. We've done we had done business in IT, and then we've been doing malaria innovation. This is the journey that we have walked for some time, and I would say that was the mother that has produced Dei BioPharma currently.
Okay, any closing remarks from Mr. Magola? What a huge task to prove not just to us but to the people of Uganda out there whose money was staked, well, without their consent, but it was staked nonetheless, to prove to them that there is value for their money. And that is something you have. Because you see now the money was given to you already, you cannot withdraw it. So even us who opposed giving you the money, we are here to follow up and say, okay, we were outnumbered and the money was voted to be given to you, but we are here to find out what is that money doing. So that is something you have got to continuously endeavor, so that people out there become your defense. It shouldn't just be Wakida here speaking in your defense. It would be a good thing for you if one, the community here, and then the entire country is speaking in your defense. That's the hard work that you are. But you want Ugandans out there to say, okay, that man was given our money, but we are seeing value for that money. That's a task that you have. And on our end, we are not going to stop nagging you people to prove value for that money, because it's a lot of money as well. And that's why you see us making noise about many other different things. You're not the only ones whom we annoy. I'm hoping we have not annoyed you. But even if we have, it's okay. It's part of our work. But that's why we do what we are doing. So thank you for welcoming us. Thank you for not closing that gate, because we are still going to come. And we'll keep coming to find out what's going on. please make sure there is value for this money. We talked about agreements, if government valuers reports and so on. We have not seen those things. Hopefully we will see them, whether it be from you or from the Attorney General. But it's important that we get to see that due diligence being done. Unfortunately, it's being done after the money has gone. My insistence in Parliament, and I was defeated, was let's first do the due diligence before we release money. They said, we have the numbers, so they voted. I said, okay. But all of these pieces have got to fit all the parts. Thank you. Thank you. And have a good day. Come again?
This is your kind of. You are a politician.
That is the running office. That's what I'm doing.
I came here.
Where do you watu ina kampuni nyingi eyo z'Abannayuganda nabo abasaba obuyambi eri gavumenti tuyambeko, tulina obuzibu wano, kampuni yaffe n'ebirala bwe bityo, naye ne zitaweebwa buyambi. So nze nasooka okubuuza bano bo be muwa buyambi musinzidde ku ki okuwa bano abalala ne mutabawa? Ekyokubiri, baatugamba nti gavumenti yali egula migabo ku kampuni eno. Yes, kampuni eno amabanja mangi, gavumenti negamba kakati kampuni eno katugitaase obutagwa ebyayo obutatwalibwa banka n'ebirala. Kakati gavumenti kegula emigabo mu kampuni eno. Naye mu kugula emigabo ne mbabuuza, kakati kampuni mwagivaluinga okutegeera nti yo yonna awamu ya ssente mmeka nga temunnagula migabo? Ne bagamba tebannakola valuation. Nitwebuuza kakati temunnakola valuation, mugula migabo ki? Eyo yali nsobi, era kyovudula ffe twagaana okuwagira ekiteeso ekyokugiwa ssente. Newankubadde yese ekiteeso kyayita kubanga numbers z'abannaffe abalala zaali nnyingi, naye ne tugamba nti kiba kikyamu, olina okusooka kukola kituyita due diligence. Tonnagula migabo, kampuni yawa ssente mmeka? Emigabo emeka? Ogenda kugulako emigabo emeka? Era return on investment enaabeera etya? Ebyo byonna tebyakolebwa. Kakati ne tugamba kale newankubadde kyayita nga kiwagidde, naye ssente z'omuwoomusolo zaabaweebwa obuwumbi 723. Kati nga tulina okufolowinga ssente ezo zikola ki exactly, ki ekigenda mu maaso? So tuzze wano ne batulambuza, naye nga bwe tugambye Mukulu Magoola nti tulabye ekizimbe kifaanana bulungi, naye omuwoomusolo teyamuwa ssente kuzimba jasi kizimbe. Ayagala kulaba eddagala eryasuubizibwa. Batugambye nti mu weeks 2 bagenda tandika okufulumya eddagala. Kati sobire tebibenga ebya covid vaccine gye batusuubiza netavaayo. Naye batugambye nti chief government value yakola valuation, newankubadde tebatulaze ku report eyo. Bagambye mujjagisa ba Attorney General. Of course ebiseera ebisinga Attorney General tumusaba ebiwandiiko, naye neyeebuzaabuza naki kati tumanyi oba gyeri, naye tujja following up agreements kyezo wakati wa gavumenti ne kampuni eno. Valuation eyakolebwa eriwa era egamba nti kampuni eno egwamu obuwumbi bwa ssente mmeka? Waliwo fika gye batubuulidde, naye nga tetulabye ku kiwandiiko kyonna. Kiba kizibu okukkiriza nti kakati ekyo kyekituufu. So mu kujja wano tuli mu kutuukiriza buvunaanyizibwa bwaffe nga leader of opposition ne bannange shadow cabinet bakulembeze bannange ku opposition kulondoola ssente ya muwa musolo. So kakati obuwumbi obwo 723 nga twagala okutegeera ki ekigenda mu maaso. Mwami Magoola agambye nti naye bannaye ssente ezo nga si nnyingi nnyo. Ne mugamba waayi ku Munnayuganda ezo ssente empitirivu. Kyovudoola batuzze era nga tujja sigala nga tugoberera, twagala okutegeera ebiwandiiko n'ebirala byonna ku ssente y'omuwoomusolo, kubanga ssente zino mpitirivu nga bwe tugoberera ekya Lobowa Hospital. Of course bano kyembasiimyemuko ekyenjawulo tebakoze nga Lobowa Hospital tebatugalidde bweru, kubanga Lobowa Hospital bo baga nti temujja kuyingira, ekitegeeza nti balina ekyokukweka. Kakati bano bo kirungi batukkiriza okuyingira, naye tubagambye newankubadde tuyingidde bingi bye tukyayagala okutegeera documents zino n'ebirala, so that tubeere sure nti ssente z'omuwoomusolo ssente zino yali tazeetaaga kiryawo fact ya planning na kuzizzaayo. Tugamba well ffe ekyo kyali tuwadde n'essanyu bwe zikomawo amango batezeetaagibwa nnyo kubanga tulina bingi byetugamba nti kakati amalwaliro twagala tuteekemu eddagala ba intern doctors tebabadde deployed kubanga tewali sente enguudo mbi bwe tugamba nti banna enguudo tuzikoleko gamenyi nga tewali sente How are you, sir? Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, Mr. Magola. Yes, sir. How are you doing, sir? Thank you. Hello. How are you? Hello. How are you? Hello, sir. How are you?
Kitiibwa atya mumuwange ekitiibwa naye ne mumubuuza ebibuuzo ebikulu ne mugamba ate ffe nga tulaba kino kyekituufu kino kikyamu temukkirizanga muntu balowoleza mwerowoleze nga baganda bange temuggwangamu ssuubi njagala okuva waggulu